It was this time last year that the video craze hit its peak. It was not unusual to see people lined up for 15 or 20 minutes just to get a chance to compete with their favorite game. Today, there are few lineups. Many youngsters have become bored with video games. The video craze, it seems, has become a thing of the past.
Well, they're too boring now. It's the same games over and over again.
I used to come out and play about $4 or $5, but sometimes now I just come out and play about $1 or $2. I don't like playing the same games over and over.
People that are interested remain now, and it's leveled off quite a bit lower.
How much lower?
I'd have to say in the range from 30 to 40%.
Quimple Amusement and Fantasy 2000 in Dartmouth are two of the more popular arcades in Metro. At one point, Fantasy 2000 had to hire 6 supervisors just to keep up with the crowds. Today, only 2 supervisors are needed. The owners and operators of video arcades are some of the people who refuse to accept that video games were just another fad. In fact, they're looking forward to what they call the second coming of the electronic video game. This is when a brand new line of more sophisticated video machines are introduced to the marketplace. Betty Cahill, CBC News, Halifax.
And finally, the parents of teenagers in Charlottetown are sleeping easier these days. There, the City Council has just passed a bylaw to control video arcades. It's trying to curb the development of underage electronic pinball wizards. Michael Vaughn has a report.
Years ago, pool halls were thought to be the corrupters of youth. Now it's the video game arcade, where it's claimed addicted school children misspend their lunch money while being exposed to unwholesome influences. In Charlottetown, city aldermen have called arcades sleazy hangouts and have banned them from school kids during school hours. In fact, the new bylaw forbids any child under the age of 14 from being here at all, unless accompanied by an adult.
Well, I don't think kids basically should be allowed to hang out in any establishment, such as a room or an arcade. Like, I think there's times that they would like to go and enjoy themselves, but at the same time, like, I think there's times they have to be in school, they have to be doing the things that their parents want them to do, and I think it's just something that we feel that we have to have a bylaw to be in place there.
That bylaw is already taking its toll. Tonight, these former regulars were tossed out of their usual arcade for being too young.
Should be allowed in 13 and over. Because 13, you're a teenager, you should be allowed in to play.
Other bylaw casualties may be arcade owners.
It's put the locks on my door because it just forces me out of business.
And even those who remain in business aren't too pleased about the new rules.
What can I do? I can't say nothing about it. For which I feel sorry in a way for them. I mean, if there comes any harm and stuff like that, it'd be different. I'm not sure.
Other cities worry about arcades. Charlottetown has attacked them, at least until someone challenges the legality of the bylaw in court. Michael Vaughn, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Well, video game burnout seems to be doing what many parents could not do, and that is close down video parlors. The interest in Pac-Man and Donkey Kong seems to be waning. In London, video arcades have decreased by 50%.
Foiled again. I guess I must be what one might call a digital dope, because no matter how hard I try, even the simplest of these video games bamboozle me. However, for some of the video wizards around here, stuff like this has become just child's play. Pac-Man, for example, is now scorned by video game junkies, and so are lots of other games that were big just 2 years ago.
They're too easy to play. Like, they've been around for too long, and now they've got books out that tell you what you have to do to play them. You just memorize patterns and play.
So you and a lot of your friends just aren't playing them anymore?
Not most of them. Like, with games like this one where they don't have books out and stuff, they're still fun because you can still play.
What about some of the newer games they're bringing out now that involve options, different ways to go? I guess they're like cartoon characters.
They're too expensive. They're like 50 cents every time you play. And so they've got to get really good to make it worthwhile, and you got to waste a whole bunch of money to get good at it.
Rob Smank says player burnout is combined with other factors to zap his business.
You know, the baby boomers are getting a little older. Seems to be less money available now than there was during the height of the recession. And I think generally the industry's gotten a little bit stale. The equipment isn't coming as fast and as furious as it once was.
Ironically, a lot of video whizzes like Dave Watson are once again pumping quarters into that old standby of arcade addicts, the pinball machine. They're making a bit of a comeback as a lot of those high-tech games go the way of a pill-starved Pac-Man. John Lees, TV London News.
And finally, hospitals are reporting more and more cases of a brand new ailment. No, it isn't another exotic brand of flu. It's something you can get from playing certain games. Michael McIver reports.
First, there was Archer's shoulder, followed by Gamekeeper's thumb from cocking the trigger too much. Then there was Surfer's knee and Golfer's elbow, and more recently, tennis elbow and bicycle seat neuropathy. And now the latest affliction sweeping North America is arcade arthritis. It's true, arcade arthritis.
Well, you can cause a good deal of inflammation in this joint and this joint simply from coming down almost like the hammer on a piano. And if you get very passionate about it, and you're trying to beat yourself, which is oftentimes the problem, then you can cause some inflammation in there.
But arcade arthritis can strike elsewhere, too.
Oftentimes you'll see the player using the joystick doesn't leave it on the table. He'll get a little body English into it, and he'll begin taking his arm around. Now, that's not a serious movement at all. But when you're at white-hot passion, and you're really trying to beat that damn blipper on there, you become very involved. And this is when you may hurt yourself, and you can give your forearm a fairly good twist. Elbow and shoulders can be involved as well.
The way to avoid these problems at the start is to gradually increase your playing time, toning up the body in the process. But that's often easier to say than to do. And if you're hooked, well...
If you had an underlying condition, for example, if you do have an underlying arthritis, this might stir it up with too much activity. The only serious implications, if you put your fist through the screen, that can be rather serious, or I've seen some injuries from throwing it to the floor and it landed on somebody's foot. But those are side effects rather than direct effects.
Michael McIver, CBC News, Toronto.